Cool. What's up, guys? Back again with another episode of Hot Takes with God. If you've never seen before, I'm Jackson.
I'm Alex.
And yeah, so I don't know what are we doing?
I don't know. I have a Marry Fuck Kill if you would like to do that.
Yeah, I don't have one, but I'll do yours and maybe I'll think of one. To get started. Hit me with it.
So you got Darth Vader.
Okay.
Saruman the Wise.
Saruman. Cool.
Saruman. And Mario. Mario.
Mario?
That's his last name, Mario.
Is it?
Yeah, because they're the Mario brothers.
Right, but that's his first name.
Yeah.
I thought it was the Mario Brothers because he's the most prominent brother.
No, I'm assuming they're both. It's Luigi Mario and Mario.
It's the Mario Brothers plumbing company. I don't think that I don't think that their last name is Mario.
I think it is.
There's no way.
It's Mario.
That would be ridiculous. If so, I mean, if that's the presumption we're working under, I'm killing Mario. 100%. He's fucking dead. And I mean, Darth Vader, it's a challenging. Because on one hand, for a while there, he pretty much controls the galaxy.
Yeah.
Right? But we do see what he does to Padme.
Yeah.
So it's but that was also he just was about to become, he kind of had become Darth Vader, but wasn't all the way there yet. He was really it's
he's a little crispy.
How far into Darth Vader is he? Is this he's been Darth Vader for a while at this point? Or
I mean, at bare minimum, I think full blown he has the suit on.
Well, yeah. I mean, but that's is it when are we meeting? When am I meeting this guy? That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm trying to figure out here.
I mean, that same question with Saruman.
No, I'm not really interested in that with Saruman. I don't care about him.
You don't care?
I'm assuming that he's old, wrinkly, and evil already by the time I meet him.
Wow.
Well, I'm assuming we're going off movie standards because that's what most people will know. So he's always old, wrinkly, and evil in the movies.
Yeah.
So
for the most part,
I mean,
you see him a little bit of good in Hobbit, but
yeah,
just for
but just for a half second, he's still sketchy looking.
He's still hella sketch.
Mad sus.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I would definitely kill Mario 100%. First of all, he's a fucking plumber. What does he really have to offer me?
Wow, he's a small business owner.
He's also obviously obsessed with another princess, and I don't share. So kill Mario. Fuck that guy. I'd probably fuck Saruman, not because I think that he's great in bed, but I feel like he's got some wizard shit going on to maybe up the ante.
He can make you think it was far better than it ever really was.
He could get in my head and do some shit and make me have a really good time.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
And then I'd probably marry Darth Vader for the power.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's Darth Vader.
But you still gotta take him to bed.
Badass.
It's gonna be crispy.
No, he never comes out of the suit. It's literally impossible for him to come out of the suit. So he's either got a a dick
little
attachment,
slot,
a dick attachment, or he's got a strap on, or But I mean, you said I don't have to have sex with him. I just have to marry him. So
yeah,
it
doesn't have to be.
It could be a power marriage.
Doesn't have to be a happy marriage.
It's for
be a bad one.
Oh, it's a happy marriage, but it's like a that movie where those two guys get married, pretend they're gay and get married for the tax benefit.
Yeah,
it'd be like that. It'd be like that.
Adam Sandler and
no, it's Owen Wilson and. I think Owen Wilson and that other guy who looks kind of like Adam Sandler, but isn't Adam Sandler, but he's in a lot of similar movies.
Almost certain Adam Sandler did this, and it was there were two firefighters. It was him and Paul Blart.
Okay, well, that's not the movie. I'm thinking about a much older movie though.
Well, that's the same fucking.
I mean, it's the same. If it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
No, that's just.
But that's I mean, it would be us joining forces. In a contractual way, not so much it'd just be two bros. Me and Vader would be bros. I mean, I would for sure make it to the point that me and I mean, if he's considering me for this sort of like long-term contractual obligation, I feel like we'd be bros. I could, I get what Anakin was thinking, I mean, if you crush everything and start over, awesome galaxy.
It's gonna be great.
It's a great galaxy. I get it. I get it. It's not as bad as the Thanos thing, I feel like,
No, Thanos is. I'm gonna kill half of everyone. That fixes everything. It's like
no, they'll just repopulate.
They're just gonna repopulate.
Yeah, no,
probably more vigorously
you've
too.
gotta wipe. You gotta. See, Anakin didn't care about killing people. He just wanted to wipe the Senate out, or stop that.
No, he just wanted to save Padme, and then he killed Padme.
No, that's definitely not the only thing he wanted.
Well, that was a huge driving force.
I mean, that was part of it, but his whole thing was that he was gonna unite the galaxy. Like that was way before he even had thoughts about Padme dying. He was didn't necessarily understand the way the Senate and the Council worked, because he was it just doesn't seem that effective. Jedi shouldn't. In Clone Wars, he says at least once, Jedi shouldn't be generals, because we're we don't go the distance, we don't go all the way. So I feel that's a more the Padme thing was more pressing at the moment, obviously, but as far as long-term goals that were twisted by Palpatine, I feel that's a much bigger one.
Wow, I've never looked at it that way. I've always thought that was kind of more of the writers going leaning the foreshadowing of the Jedi shouldn't be doing what they're doing. They're being.
I mean, I think that was definitely part of it, but
well, as far as his descent to the dark side, I always thought it was more driven from he couldn't save his mother, and he wanted the power to be able to save the ones he loves.
I mean, that's definitely.
I always thought that's what broke them.
That's probably the clincher, But I mean, Palpatine had been filling his fucking ear with honey about how the Republic doesn't work.
For sure, he has zero faith in the
Padme. But what I'm saying is the Padme thing wouldn't have been enough. Mm-hmm. It had to also be that years of
the whole thing,
the mental
dude, he fucked him, just manipulated the hell out of him.
From a child.
Years. Yeah, from when he was a boy.
So I can't really blame him. I can't really blame Anakin.
Well, there's the whole theory that it was what's his name, Plagueis. Darth Plagueis the Wise, and what's his name, the Sith Lord. That they were the ones that actually manipulated the midichlorians to make what's her name pregnant, Anakin's mother.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a whole that doesn't really get talked about. That it's a fatherless pregnancy, but they don't ever really
outside of the first episode. No, they don't really bring it back up. Quite literally a child of the Force. Yeah, he's Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
It's just Jesus.
But it's I did.
Yeah, they really gloss over that.
I did like the way that they the way they ended up. The whole Anakin to Luke thing, I think was I don't know. I think if the first or the prequels and they came out after the original, but time wise, anyway, I feel that whole Anakin being set up to even things out, and everybody being he's gonna balance the Force, woo, and then him balancing the Force but not the way they want it. That was so cool to me. Still as a kid that blew my fucking mind, but now even still it's still that subversion of expectation, especially for an audience when those movies came out. I feel there wasn't a lot of you didn't have your M. Night Shyamalans and all these movies now that purposefully go for that big twist reveal. I feel things typically were a lot more straightforward.
I guess the first big twist, because episode 4 through 6 came out first,
right?
The first big one was
Darth Vader being his dad.
Yeah, being his father. That was the first big ass twist.
Right.
That just threw everyone through a loop.
It's crazy the way these movies came out, because that like couldn't have happened if they had come out in order.
No.
Right? Because like we would have known.
Yeah. That whole reveal would have never.
That whole reveal like wouldn't have. Yeah,
worked.
which is so crazy. It's also crazy. I saw this video the other day. There was like some guy going through and being like. So he was just like, so all the fucking Star Wars movies are named wrong, but you can use all the names of the Star Wars movies to name them correctly.
Right. Yeah.
And it's hilarious. It's just like, they make so much sense if you just like switch them around a little bit. And it's like, why the fuck, like, wasn't this, is it just because you already named these that you couldn't name these that? Like,
yeah.
It's just like ridiculous. But it was so fucking funny. It was like one of those things, it was just like, oh my god. How is no one ever, like, why is Attack of the Clones called Attack of the Clones? Like, the last, like, very end is, like, the clones. Like, Attack of the Clones should have been, like, the fucking start of the war. Like, and then, like, Empire Strikes Back, and, like, there's so many things that you could just mix around and make so much more sense, like, title-wise. It's just funny to look back with, like, hindsight. I wonder if, like, George Lucas is, like, man, I was seeing that video and I was like, oh man, that makes a lot more sense.
Oh wow, you should really retcon that shit.
We should really rename this whole series.
They hit up Disney. Hey there, Mickey.
Which now they're doing that like Star Wars open world game with Ubisoft?
Oh, Ubisoft's making it?
I believe so. Which is good because it's not EA. Fuck EA. But like also like Ubisoft has like a pretty good history of making dope open world games, but like also kind of just makes the same game over and over and over again in different themes. Which is like, granted, all I really want is just like a Red Dead Redemption and Star Wars themed. So like if they can, I mean that's Rockstar, but like you know, or like I mean an Assassin's Creed that's fucking. Star Wars theme, like that would also be cool.
That'd be dope.
But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, I'm definitely hyped for it.
I'm super hyped for it. I mean, I'm definitely gonna get a console, like pretty much just for that.
Yeah.
When it comes out.
No, I used to play the Knights of the Old Republic, which was open world.
That's a pretty good game. Yeah, I like. I think they ported it onto Switch, and
did they really?
I thought about getting it.
It's so big. I remember my laptop after I got to like level 30 or something, and then it was just like, oh, too much. That's enough of that game. I was like, oh, geez, all right.
My coworker, totally different kind of game. My coworker told me about this game that you may have heard of, but if you haven't, you would also probably be interested in it. It's called Dwarf Fortress.
Dwarf Fortress?
Yeah, have you ever heard of it?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it started out as a totally text-based, like, I don't know, it's kind of like, it sounds like it's kind of like Civ, except instead of, like, half focusing on your civilization and half focusing on, like, fucking everybody else up, it's just your civilization, but like the thing about it that makes it so crazy is the amount of like insane detail that like has been put into it. Like, so you start the game up and there's like hundreds of thousands, like, and it's different every game. There's hundreds of thousands of years of like culture and like lore that you can like. There are players that don't play the game; they just read the lore.
Yeah,
like that's like all like built into that specific world game that you're playing, and that like influences like all the different like religious groups and things that like you're interacting with, and you're obviously like some dwarves looking to build a fortress, and so like, but there's things like, I mean, characters have like eyelids and shit, and like they like if you like there was a quote unquote glitch that happened where like someone who was playing the game spilled some alcohol on the street, and the stray cats in the village drank the alcohol and got drunk, and you had a bunch of drunk cats, like and, like just shit like that like everything means something. Like in every interaction you have with like an NPC, like they have like moods, they can feel sick on certain days, and like just stuff like that. So it's like just so immersive.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think they're moving it, like I think they're putting it on, it's been like free for like a really long time, and they're putting it on Steam and doing like a graphics pack with it, so you don't have to play it like you can play it text based, or you can play it with like, not like widgets, that's not really the right word, but like icons, like the representative icons, to make it a little more like whatever, but they're like making it look kind of like, almost like Terraria, I think, like style graphics.
Yeah.
Kind of like, or like FTL, you know, pretty simple stuff, but just like more like representational and movement based.
There's so many good games in that, like, that vein. Of
this is like and heavily inspired Minecraft.
Yeah,
and like it's like been
an older
for
game
time.
for it. Yeah. I've been wanting to get into. Well, I dedicate so little time to video games, and there's so many video games that I like eventually want to play. Like there's Europa Solace, which is the world broken up into its like the counties. And then you have full control. Like you pick a time of when you want to start. You pick the nation you want to start, and then it's go. And it's in general, the world will follow the timeline, like what it does. But I mean, the RNG is different. Like it's role based, so it's kind of like
what's role based? That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I mean, there's so many interesting games just in that vein, and just like in general out there that I've probably never even heard of.
Yeah, I mean, there's also Bannerlord. You played Mountain Blade. This is its Mountain Blade 2, Bannerlord. Okay. And I'll probably play some later tonight. And
I feel like I would like that game a lot more if it was like controller based, not like mouse and keyboard based.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just, I think it's just because I like grew up with a console and never really played any mouse and keyboard like PC games, and I'm not used to that, like having to click to move and like that kind of stuff. Just like doesn't like kind of, I don't know. There's so many games out there that are on consoles that I'm like more familiar with that like, and I don't have access to a PC.
Yeah.
That like that's one of the things that I kind of have to narrow my vision of like what video games I potentially want to try. I just like kind of cut off the whole like PC genre just because it's like there's not a ton of point thinking about it at the moment.
No, I mean if you don't have PC, you don't have PC. Can't really.
I mean, I'd like to at some point more for like editing and stuff. Because I don't play that many video games either.
Just don't have time for it.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm tired. Like when I'm not doing stuff, like half the time, I'm just like it's because I'm too tired to do anything.
Yeah.
So like that includes video games. Like it takes, especially the games that I like to play, take a measure of like
grinding,
willingness to get into, like willingness to like not grinding, but like willingness to get into the mindset of the character. Like they're all a lot of like RPG based stuff, and also like you can't really get anything done unless you're gonna play for like at least an hour or two.
Yeah.
So it's like if I don't quite have that long, or like don't feel like I want to play for that long, I just won't. I'll just like watch TV or something in the background instead, or just fucking go to sleep. Shit. Half the time I just take a nap. Took a great nap today. Got the cat cuddled up. Fucking got the blanket. Got her tucked in.
Oof.
Like tucked the fuck. It took me a second to get her to be like chill with being tucked in, but she eventually folded, as she usually does.
That's good. Beth kept just. I would like roll and she'd scoot, and I'd be like, "No, you can't do that." Yeah, she'd like just try to get into the nooks and crannies as deep as she could.
If Rigby doesn't sleep with me, like at night, that often. She does sometimes, but I toss and turn. I need to get new pillows or something. I think. I don't think that I have the like support that you really should have in a pillow right now. They're just both like pretty old. I think one of them like used to be one of my parents, and like the other one is like I think I just got in a closet at my house. Like I don't know where the fuck it came from. Like one is like really firm and one's like really soft, and so I like switch them depending on like how I'm laying, and it's like a pain in the dick. I also need to like stop looking at screens and then directly going to bed.
Oh yeah, it's a bad idea.
Like I don't sleep. Like that's part of the reason I'm so tired all the time is I don't sleep through the night like ever.
Yeah, you're supposed to like the last half hour before you go.
I think someone told me the other day like ideally like hour and a half, 2 hours.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, some shit like that.
But
you just
like,
gotta let your brain.
Yeah, I mean like 30
shutting
minutes.
down.
I mean at least 30 minutes would definitely be better. I need to just start like. I mean, like, when I was a kid, I used to, like, just read before bed all the time. But now, like, reading is such a, like, not a chore, that's not the right word. It's a lot harder than it was when I was a kid. My like, sense of, like, my concentration, like, how long I can focus for has definitely decreased.
Mine's gone up. Mine's complete opposite. As a kid, couldn't sit down and read. But
really?
Yeah, I would have to reread a page like 4 or 5 times before I could get it.
Like, I mean, I could read a fucking Harry Potter book in like a day.
Yeah.
Like, shit was easy.
No, I mean, I'm reading far more now than I ever used to. Like, I'll sit down, I read The Odd Couple, I mean, it's 100-page play, and it's over at the bar.
They just made reading not fun. Like, sometime in high school, reading became, like, something I had to do, like something I was being forced to do, and I've never been the kind of person that like agrees to do anything that I'm like forced to do,
into,
even if it's something that I like in general like. But just because like the books that I had to read, like some of them were really good. Like I remember some of them, but some of them were just like I don't know. I just was like, it's that point like high school. You're taking like 4 classes or something, and they expect you to read like 100 pages of this book a night when you also have to do like 10 pages of math homework, write like a history paper, and like study for like a science like experiment or some shit, like some chemistry stuff. And it was just like one of those things that like I figured out early on that I could get away with like not doing or like not trying very hard on. So I did, because that's what you do when you're like 17, and so like now it's just like I just like stopped reading outside of like what I was forced to do for school, like pretty much through college, and then now it's like, I don't really know exactly like as far as new books go, like I don't really know, because the last book I read like for fun was in like 9th grade. So, like, not really interested in reading, like, Harry Potter anymore. It's not really my vibe. Plus, J.K. Rowling's fucking crazy.
She keeps just making...
She keeps retconning crazy
shit.
shit.
Retconning stuff and then making stuff.
Like, some of it is, like, okay. Like, yeah, alright. Like, I get that. Like, like, Dumbledore being gay, I was like, it seems a little unnecessary. But also, like, I mean, given the whole, like, his relationship and, like, knowing, like... if you like really read into like his relationship with Grindelwald, then it's like okay, yeah, no, actually, I can see that Dumbledore's probably gay. Like, yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
but it's like other stuff is just like weird shit, and she's just said a bunch of like really like racist, transphobic stuff, like just on Twitter, just like out there, like not even like. She said it personally, and like someone recorded it secretly and like put it out, like leaked it. She's just typing that shit. She won't
send it.
She feels really good about her opinions.
Crazy.
Yeah, so not really into Harry Potter. But it's like I got like the other day I went to McKay's and I got To Kill a Mockingbird, a book I've read many times. Great, phenomenal novel, which is why I bought a copy because I wanted to own a copy. Treasure Island, never read it. But it's supposed to be like a classic, so I was like, okay,
classic.
And then 2 books on design, which is like cool, but not like casual reading or like reading for funsies, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like reading to like learn stuff, which like that's the only reading that I've done that I've enjoyed in the past like 4 years is like in college the books we had to read were pretty nice because they were like artist books and stuff like that. So I didn't really mind. But yeah, as far as like fiction go, like I really like fiction because I like have a pretty active imagination, but I don't know what books are like made for people of my age, I guess. I don't know. It's weird.
I basically have to read or I don't work. it's like especially with theater. It's if you're not reading plays, you don't know what to work on. Like, I got Devin going, what are we gonna work on next after we get done with this? I'm like, shit, let me read some stuff. Let me broaden my horizon because nothing's popping into mind.
I mean, art is like that. Like you won't if you just do what's in your head all the time, then like you're not progressing the same way you could have if you like read up on like people who are doing stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like not the most like again, it's not like casual reading. Like it's not like reading for fun exactly. Like it's enjoyable. But maybe I'm just chasing a feeling that isn't possible to grasp anymore. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm in different boat on that one. I'm enjoying reading some plays that I know I'm not going to work on. I'm not going to produce or anything, but I'm still reading them just because I kind of...
So you're like reading art theory is like enjoyable, but it makes my head hurt.
And
I can only do like so much of it at a time because it takes time to like process and like work through. Whereas like, I don't know, I used to just like consume books.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I feel like that's like a feeling that I would like to have again.
Just consuming books, yeah.
Just like I just want to sit in this fucking chair over in my corner, you know, like all day and just be like totally absorbed in something without like feeling like I'm spending too much. And maybe that's part of it is that I feel like stressed out and anxious if I like spend too much time doing any one thing. I don't know, adult life, man, you know, it's really...
Anxiety.
It's really stressful. It's
Am I spending too much time on this thing so I'm not spending time on other things?
Yeah.
And...
Especially when you're, like, a creative person and, like, working your 40-hour-a-week job and, like, doing, you know, random whatever shit and your, like, off hours is not enough for you. And like you need to like express or like get out this like, you know, energy the way that you know people do. I mean, everyone needs to do that. Some people just like never find that thing, I guess.
The outlet, yeah.
But being forced to work like 40 hours a week, then like, you know, there's a certain amount of time you have to sleep. Obviously there's a certain amount of time it's like spent eating and like preparing for those things and like making sure that you've got the things you need for those things. And then there's like recovery time where you just need to like you know, like mental health time where you just need to chill and like be still and like vibe. And then, you know, you've got, if you're not like too sad, depressed, or tired, you've got like X amount of time
to get work
to do
done.
other stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, it's like I don't know how to like expand that last category and like subtract all these other things while maintaining the benefits
of the other things. Yeah.
That's the key.
That's
you know,
the struggle.
That's what everybody is looking for, I guess.
Yeah, most people tend to
give up.
Yeah, it's a lot to balance. There's a lot to
fucking
juggle.
balance. I mean, there's a reason that the statistic is like some like 90 some odd % of like art students stop making art within the first year after college.
Yeah.
Like it's some kind of insane number like that.
Yeah, absurd amount. Just stop.
It's just hard when no one's making you do it for a grade.
Yeah.
And like learning how to like pace yourself when that's not like all you're doing all the time. And like be happy with how you're pacing yourself. I mean, like I have issues with that about like feeling shitty about myself because I'm not producing the way that I like did when I was in school, but it's like, dude, you got like way more shit going on than you did when you were in
it's a
school.
completely like you're not able
thinking
to
about
spend
that
these
all the
hours
time. Like,
dedicated to the craft and the art. And with theater, one of the things, especially with actors, is once you get out, there's far more rejection with this stuff. Cause
I mean, same here. Like, I mean, school's like a safety net, you know? Like, you might get rejected from the school show, but like, but it's not gonna be like a, I don't know. But like, you could be really good and still get rejected from like a real world show.
Yeah, well, it's more so this a good ratio, and this is what I was told by my professors. As far as jobs audition for, jobs get, it's about 80-1.
Whew.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, and that's good statistic right there.
Yeah, yeah, and they didn't give us like. I mean, they definitely were like, you're gonna get like shit on like a lot before you ever like, you know, rise above that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. If they gave a statistic, I wasn't paying attention. But I'm sure it's something like that. I mean, I've applied for a number of. I've gotten rejected from several shows. And it doesn't feel good. That's for damn sure. Getting accepted though, especially once you've been rejected a couple of times, feels
nice.
like
feels real good.
But then COVID happened and all the shows I got accepted to got canceled, and I was like, well, I didn't get rejected, but I didn't get to do the show.
No.
So
I mean, we straight up canceled the entire live performance of a show we produced.
It's true.
So
you got to film it though. I mean,
we had to film it.
You got to
Not the same. We had so many ideas and things that were going to be just for a live performance, and what the film version, we can't even show the film version to anyone legally. That's the other part of it.
Yeah, that
is we have it like clipped out, so
you
we
at least
can
have it for like. I mean, everybody has it for like reels, and you can put it on a resume to say you did it.
Yeah,
but that's nice. Still. But yeah, I mean that's still a bummer for sure. Yeah, and then I was like, hey, I found this like abandoned building, and I was like, I'm gonna figure out who owns this, and I'm gonna have art shows here. And I figured out that who owned it, and it was a church, and they told me to fuck off. Not really, they didn't tell me to fuck off, but they told me
in more words.
Yeah, in more words. I think basically like that property is not available for use at this time, or like not.
It's like not being used right now.
Not being used right now, like not being used for rent. And I was like, yeah, I know that. Like that's why I'm asking about it. It was weird. It was a really weird interaction over email. Because they just shut me down the first time, and I was like, I don't think you actually know what I'm talking about. So I like sent another email, and they were like, oh, let me look at that. And I was like, oh, so your first instinct was just to shoot me down. Was just to be like, no. So that's cool. That really says a lot about where you guys are at mentally with your community. But then they're like, yeah, like they got them to figure out everything about it, and they were like, yeah, no, still a hard no, it's hard pass, which is sad. But that's okay. I'll realize my dream of owning and curating my own art gallery at some point. I just want to be able to critique people for my job. I think that would be a pretty good job for me. I was really good at that in college. I mean, I have no problem being like honest in my opinion. That's really what it is. people a lot of times are too scared to like, because they think it's like an insulting thing, and it's like it's not an insulting thing. It's just like we are peers.
Mm-hmm.
We're all trying to do better, and like in my mind, I feel like you missed a spot here or there. Maybe work on this, but this is good. But you know, that's like there's ways to do it that shouldn't be insulting. I mean, if you take it as insult, then that at a certain point is your own issue.
Giving and receiving critiques was such a huge part of
yeah, I mean, it just teaches you to like think about stuff.
Yeah, you have to, but also just the proper way to deliver a note and how to give people specifics.
Yeah, I mean, it just helps teach communication, just like in general.
Yeah,
being able to like have a disagreement, not even necessarily a disagreement, but a differing opinion with someone,
and being able to talk
discuss it, and like come to a point where you can both at least somewhat understand each other, and then like move on.
Yeah, it's a huge skill.
Yeah, people just take it. I feel like people take it to heart. Some like I'm not saying you have to do this. Like you have to make these changes. It's just like in my head, I think this would be made more clear or better if you did this, and then it's like you can take that or fucking leave it. But like,
yeah,
I'm just trying to help you think. Hopefully you'll help me think, and hopefully we'll get it. We'll make everything better.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think I'll call it there.
Yeah.
I am a tired boy from a long day of work.
I'm also tired. I didn't work today, but I smoked a lot of weed. I mean, CBD.
Well, I'm going to go smoke a fat blunt with some mighty fine kush in it and watch some sumo wrestling.
He never said weed. It's CBD.
I said kush.
He said kush, which can refer to
anything, everything.
I think technically it's like a
kush.
Like an incense or something.
I don't know. I'd believe it.
I don't know. Anyway. Short-ish episode. I hope you all have a wonderful, fantastic week. Cheeto Man is no longer a president. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have made history.
They did
Hopefully, they'll actually be cool.
Shout out to the young lady that
wrote that poem.
Killed it. Her delivery was off the charts too. Everything about it. Look her up. I don't remember her name.
Don't remember her name.
She was second.
Try to plug it in the
second to last speaker inauguration.
Yeah, I'll try to plug it. Did Garth Brooks do the national anthem?
No, it was Lady Gaga.
Oh.
And she came out and she looked like she came straight out of Hunger Games. Yeah.
I've seen those memes. I also saw some Garth Brooks memes about the inauguration, but
no, he
did he sing something?
He did. He sang
just not the national anthem.
No. What is it? Oh. Shoot.
He was probably high. That's hilarious. I hope he was high.
He looked like it.
I mean,
he was hugging everyone, shaking everyone's hand.
Garth Brooks and Willie Nelson are like the OG stoners. Like before there was Cheech and Chong, there was Willie Nelson and Garth Brooks.
And Snoop Dogg.
No, before there was Snoop Dogg. Before there was Snoop Dogg, there was Cheech and Chong. Before there was Cheech and Chong, there was Willie Nelson and Garth Brooks. And now there's I guess still Snoop Dogg.
I can't remember. Yeah, Snoop Dogg's still around. Snoop Dogg's just doing the side quests at this point.
Yeah, I know.
I love that meme.
He's been doing so many weird things lately. It's hilarious.
Lately, he's been doing it for a decade.
I mean, he's been doing weird shit for a long time. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the whole Snoop Lion thing. That I like that no one talks about that.
No, he was Snoop Lion for a long time.
Yeah, like several years.
Yeah, he was Snoop Lion.
I don't know. Did he ever release albums as Snoop Lion?
Yeah, I'm saying.
Are they Rasta albums?
Yeah, that's he.
I mean, I know that's what the whole like he became like Rastafarian and like changed his name to Snoop Lion.
Yeah. I feel like he had like 2 albums. It was 1 or 2.
I need to look that up. I need to listen to those. Wild. Anyway.
Peace
out. Have a good night.